with the slight height advantage, but the reach advantage could be a key here, Van.
It sure could. Now the question is, how can Duran neutralize this particular advantage? And if he follows his style, he's going to get inside and find a home for that left hand of his. The advantage will be neutralized.
The commission 10-point must system scored by 3 judges, non-scoring referee, no standing 8 count. Referee and doctor have the authority to stop the bout at any time. And there is no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the final round, and time called if a fighter loses his mouthpiece. And then there is the butt rule in the state.
Don Chargan Productions presents Sports Channel America's Pro Boxing Tour live from the Arco Arena in Sacramento, California. This match is scheduled for 6 rounds in the Super Bantamweight division. It is refereed by Pras Montano. Introducing first in the blue corner, this young man is from Los Angeles, California. He weighs 125 pounds with a record of 3 wins against 1 loss, with 2 wins by knockout. Here's Enrique Lara. Introducing now in the red corner, this young man is from Sacramento. He weighs 122 pounds with a record of 8 wins against no losses, with 6 first-round knockouts. Here's Richard Bam Bam Duran.
And referee Pras Montano giving the fighters instructions for our first bout of the evening. 6 rounds of super bantamweight boxing. And I want to just give you the butt rule. If a fighter cannot continue due to an unintentional foul in the first round, the fight is ruled a draw. After the completion of the first round, the injured party will be declared the winner if he is ahead on points. If the injured party is behind on points, the bout is declared a draw as well. And that is the butt rule in the state of California.
Well, let's hope we don't have to have a classroom lesson up here. Let's hope these boxers keep it clean. I think we're going to see a lot of action, though, Bob, from start to stop on this one.
Bob Papa along with Van Stokes. We begin round number 1. And Van, this is kind of a inside joke with Wally Matthews, but it seems like every week we have at least one fight where the fighters are wearing the exact same colored trunks. To differentiate this week, Lara is wearing the black shoes with the white tassels and the white laces and white socks. Duran in the solid black shoes.
Now that's okay if you have a good vision, but if they've got fast footwork, it's all a blur, and it's tough to pick up those white laces.
All right, and if we don't have a shot of the feet, how about this one? Lara has the longer hair. Lara is on your left, Duran on your right.
Both boxers very active up there, so we can't really differentiate in styles at this particular point. They've come out, each of them, very aggressive. Neither one is sitting back, kind of counting and cautioning his opponent at all.
Both fighters coming out with a purpose here in round number 1, wearing the Reyes gloves. They've been known to cause some cuts in their day. Duran backs away from the ropes and spins out.
You know, Lara is listed as having only 4 bouts compared to Duran's 8 bouts. Now, that's not a staunch record by either boxer necessarily, but Duran is counting on a lot of schooling as an amateur boxer, school that took him to the top ranks of the amateur world.
Won the 1984 Western Olympic Trials, a runner-up in several national tournaments. Never could quite win the championships, though. A runner-up in the National USA, and down goes Lara. Duran taught him a lesson there.
Oh, he did. And he's gone back to his early career style, and that is a strong first round. But Lara can take a punch, but if he's not careful, he's going to take another one real fast from Richard Duran.
Well, let's see if Duran shows some seasoning here and can finish his man. Sometimes fighters get reckless.
Well, one of the big adjustments that Duran has had to make is he's having to learn to settle down up there. You can't tell that by his record, though, with 6 first-round KOs. But the truth of the matter is, if he wants to be successful, he does have to settle down, not rush his punches. Let them flow.
Lara swinging and missing. Duran to your right, Lara to your left. Duran the solid black shoes, the shorter hair. Lara the longer hair. 10 seconds to go in round one. It has been a lot of action. Lara has hit the deck once before. 5 more rounds of boxing to go.
Richard Duran, very active, very busy, working on the body of Enrique Lara, and then follows up with that patented left hand.
In between rounds 1 and 2, Duran's corner said, keep on doubling up your punches and continue to work to the body. Just don't go head hunting. Lara with the white socks, Duran the solid black. Duran fighting in his hometown of Sacramento, California. We're at the Arco Arena.
Duran seems to be a very coachable young boxer, but he's got to get out of that corner right now so Lara can't work on him.
Lara missed with almost all of those punches. Duran's very good with the shoulder movement.
You know, I'd have to say thus far that Duran is not only coachable, but he's showing that he can follow the guidance of his coach. I believe that he fought that first round exactly as his coach came and told him to fight the second round here. It proved to be successful in round number 1, Bob, and if he can keep it up, he'll be successful in this bout. In fact, this bout may not make it through the full scheduled distance.
Lara knocked down at 109 of round number 1. Duran's back to the corner, but has been able to escape. Referee Prost Montano separates the fighters here in round number 2. Scheduled for 6, these are super bantamweights. Good left by Duran.
Whoa, now that one stunned Lara, stunned him. It did not take him down to the deck, but his knees wobbled on that, and he was stunned, dazed for a brief second.
Duran's corner yelling at him to get out of the corner, but he stays in and scores with another left as Lara tries to push Duran.
He's hurting his cause. He has very little to gain in that corner. He's leaning back. He cannot step in and throw those punches like he needs to. He needs to get out in the center of that ring where he can go about his work.
Under a minute to go in round number 2, scheduled for 6. Duran backs away.
Duran staying just a little bit flat-footed right now. Lara particularly on the aggressive and lands a good left on Duran.
Duran ducks away. Lara the taller of the two fighters with the longer hair. This is round number 2, scheduled for 6. We now pause for a regional break. Duran against Lara. 4 more rounds of action to go from Sacramento, California.
Duran fighting out of the corner, but very aggressive at the close of that round. Even though he's got his back against the wall, he delivers with that solid left hook.
And we begin round number 3, scheduled for 6. And referee Prost Montano separates the fighters. There is bleeding from the left nostril of Enrique Lara. And now the clock is started again.
Duran did some damage. We saw some blood coming out of the nostrils of Lara in between those rounds. Question is, can Duran move in, use that killer instinct, and put away Lara in this particular round?
Good left by Duran. Duran with the solid black shoes and socks. Lara with the longer hair. His back is to you. Enrique Lara, born in Mexico, now fights out of California. Richard Duran, a native of Sacramento, fighting in front of his hometown fans.
Duran, very impressive right here. You know, Bob, he's got good style. He's a little bit on the retreat right now, and he needs to move off of the ropes and back out to the center of the ring. But he not only has good style, he's got the punches to go behind it and the power.
Duran scored with a left. Lara threw a lot of punches, but I don't think one punch landed there.
No, it was a pretty good cover-up and pretty good blocking by Richard Duran. But Duran doesn't want to get over there and fight that particular style of bout. He wants to stay out there where he can do his work, where he can score with that left hand and doesn't have to take so many body punches.
Well, his corner told him 1-2 hook. You don't have to drop the guy, just make him miss.
Are you sure he said make him miss, or did he say make a mess? Which one?
I heard him say make him miss. Duran back to the ropes. Lara trying to score, and scores with a right.
Smart move by Lara, pinning Duran over there against the rope, punishing Duran somewhat.
These guys just going toe-to-toe. This is a spacious ring here in Sacramento. It's 20 feet by 20 feet, but these guys don't use it.
No, they don't. They're definitely not using it to their advantage. Footwork right now on a scale of 1 to 10, well, I would have to say Richard Duran has footwork of maybe a 5 right now. I would say also he's probably going to have the footwork that his namesake is going to have here later on this week. Maybe a 5 out of 10-point scale.
Talking about Roberto Duran against Sugar Ray Leonard. Final 30 seconds of round number 3.
Duran right now is boxing in spurts. He's not sustaining anything. He's not moving with consistency throughout this bout. He looks good in spurts, and then he retreats back into the corner.
He's shown good defense, though, even when Lara unleashes a flurry. Duran able to skate away. Closing seconds of round number 3, scheduled for 6 on the Sports Channel Pro Boxing Tour.
We saw a lot of action. Lara over there against the ropes, pounding, trying to pound relentlessly on Duran. Some of them are hitting, perhaps pretty good blocking by Duran over there. Not as many scoring blows as one might believe.
And we are underway in round number 4. Bob Papa along with Van Stokes from Sacramento, California. The Arco Arena. Richard Duran to the right of your screen, and Enrique Lara to the left. It has been all Duran. Scheduled for 6 in the super bantamweight division. Lara gets tagged again. He was knocked down at 109 of round number 1.
Real fine job by Duran using that left hand. After he uses the left hand, though, he steps to the side, circles very smartly up there. Thus far in this round, Bob, he stayed out in the canvas, done his job.
Minute gone by in round 4. Tell you what, although Lara has the reach advantage, Duran has been able to score with that left. Van, how do you have the fight scored so far?
Thus far, I got the edge. I got the edge going over to Duran. In fact, it's a pretty solid edge, but I can't say it's a landslide at this particular point.
Halfway through round number 4, scheduled for 6. I have given Duran all 3 of the rounds, including a 2-point round in round 1, so I have him up by 4 points.
Well, there's the old saying that you have to dance with what brung you, and the thing that brought Duran to this particular point in his career and this point in his bout is that straight right and solid left hand. We talked about it earlier on, Bob.
Duran with his back to the ropes, but he makes Lara miss and then scores with a right. Well, he's crafty.
At this point, though, right now they're trading blows, and the question I've got is just how many of those left-handed blows can Lara take?
Blood still coming out of the left nostril of Lara. Referee Pro Spontano. Duran, 23 years of age. Lara, 20.
As an amateur, Duran fought them all. Michael Collins, Kennedy McKinney, Art Johnson. It was just time to move upward and onward for Richard Duran, though. Very fine amateur background.
Both of these fighters do more than just boxing. They hold down full-time jobs. Duran works at Pacific Coast Building Products, and Lara works at a meatpacking company in California. These are the closing seconds of round number 4 between Richard Duran with his back to you and Enrique Lara.
Experienced looking boxer for you, didn't look too perturbed, ready to go, came here to put another day in the office.
Well, Enrique Lara trying to put some punches to the head of Richard Duran, but Duran backs away. This is round number 5, scheduled for 6 in the super bantamweight division.
Duran tagged him real fine with the right just a second ago. We've seen the left from Duran most of the evening, but he's shown us that he can deliver that right hand too.
You see Duran just scoring to the head of Lara.
know, when talking about the adjustments that Richard Duran has to make, he tries to throw every punch with power, Bob, and what he's going to find is he's going to wear down late into the bout. So he's going to have to relax, let the bout flow, and not try to knock out or deliver on every single punch that he throws.
It's a little bit under 2 minutes to go in round 5. It's amazing, though, the experience difference in the styles. Duran in the corner, holding on to Lara. Duran, he is in his 9th pro fight. Lara is in his 4th, and Duran just looks so much more seasoned.
Well, he is seasoned, and again, we go back to that schooling that he had as an amateur boxer. Very well-schooled young boxer, Richard Duran. But Lara has gained a lot from this bout so far tonight, too, and I think he's growing in stature as well. Thus far, though, we can see, Bob, it's good defensive tactics, good movement by Richard Duran. He's fighting like a very smart boxer.
And he ties up Lara. Referee Prost Montano separates the fighters. Duran just peering in, looking for an opening. Lara tends to be wild, and that's when Duran is able to step in and score.
Duran probably is going to grow from the experience of hanging around for 6-2. Like we said earlier, his first 6 bouts ended in round number 1. He hopes to move up to the 8-round distance. But I think he's going to grow a little bit in going 6 rounds, if in fact this one does make it all the way through the scheduled 6.
Come on, work on it, work on it. Come on.
20 seconds to go in round number 5. We now pause for a regional break. Richard Duran and Enrique Lara will take it into the final round. Timekeeper Clay Worthley has sounded the bell for the 6th and final round of this super bantamweight bout between Richard Duran and Enrique Lara from the Arco Arena in Sacramento, California. Bob Papa along with Van Stokes. Glad you can join us. Richard Duran, solid black shoes. Enrique Lara, black shoes with the white socks, and referee Prost Montano stops the clock to take some debris off the ring mat. And now he starts it again.
You see the blood starting to trickle once again from Enrique Lara's nose. Pretty good combination by Richard Duran. I thought he might come out and be a little bit cautious in this round, but he's not cautious in the least.
And the legs of Lara buckled after getting hit with a right from Duran. Duran 8-0 with 6 knockouts. Knocked down Lara in round 1.
He is really working now. In fact, he's looking like a very fine boxer at this particular point. It seems that he's waited all the way to the 6th round in order to show this high skill level.
A minute gone by in the 6th and final round. It's really been all Duran since round number 1, but Lara has really hung in there and taken some of Duran's best shots.
He has, you know, and as we said earlier, I think Lara's grown quite a bit from this particular bout. You know, Bob, it's easy to see, though, why the folks out here in Sacramento are excited about Richard Duran. Just the name alone is enough to throw a little excitement into the ring.
Well, blood is all over the face now of Enrique Lara.
Come on, right there, get your hands up and fight.
Halfway through the 6th and final round.
Big heart, kiddo.
Both boxers have had a workout here, though, tonight, Bob. They've both been active. You haven't seen a whole lot of standing around. There's been some decent action inside the ropes.
No, I'd be curious to find out what it's like for these guys, because we're on the West Coast. It's only 6 o'clock here. Really, boxers are, normally you fight later in the night. I wonder if that's had any effect on these guys at all.
That's a good question. I don't know. I would probably say not. They're so keyed up. They have a noontime meal or a late lunch, if you will. Very light, and they're ready to go.
Well, Duran has been ready to go since the opening bell. Lara with blood streaming out of both nostrils, backing away. He needs a miracle to win this one, according to my scorecard.
He sure does. But, I'm going to have to say on his ability to take a punch, Bob, Enrique Lara, he rates high on my scale. He's shown the ability that he can stand up there and take Richard Duran's good punches.
Duran with the solid black shoes. Lara with the white socks is back to you. Final 10 seconds to go in the 6th and final round. And a good effort. Some punches after the bell, but an excellent effort by Richard Duran. Got the work in and gave the fans a good show. Now we're going to find out what the judges thought. We'll be back with the decision. And California, Richard Duran, he's all smiles. He thinks he has career win number 9. Enrique Lara, he stood up to Duran's best punishment over 6 rounds in the super bantamweight division. Announcer Jim Hall.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Our judges scored 58-56, 60-53, and 57-56. Winner by unanimous decision and still undefeated, Richard Bam Bam Duran.
Richard Bam Bam Duran gets win number 9. I was surprised one of the judges had it 57-56. I didn't think it was that close, but Duran gets the unanimous decision. Here's the knockdown in round number 1 that sent Lara to the canvas at 109 of round number 1. It was all Duran from that point on. And standing by with the happy winner is Van Stokes.